all about humanity.
Look at the t-shirt. Look at the t-shirt. Do not panic. Just hodl. People, welcome. I can see you all joining. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, and this is the Bullish Bitcoin Show. You can see the logo up there. Today is Thursday, the 6th of November, 2025. And as always, strong Bitcoin hand. I want to pick up from Stephen Ireland. Stephen O'Neill in Ireland. Greetings from Ireland. WTF is Bitcoin doing? I'm crapping myself. Okay, we'll get into this in the show, people, but I'm telling you, after living through everything of 2017 and then 2018 as Bitcoin fell off a cliff, after living through everything that happened in 2021, what happened in C19, this is nothing to worry about. It is pretty damn normal. And I'm guessing, Stephen, maybe I've got it wrong, but you're pretty new to all of this, because only people that are pretty new to all of this say things like, what the F is happening? You know, is Bitcoin failing? Should I get out now? Etc. So we'll get into some stuff momentarily. But before we do that, I've got to get the preliminaries out of the way and firstly say that there's no financial advice here. Don't come looking. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get charts, TA, price predictions. It ain't happening. I would also encourage you all to go into the show notes, click on the Linktree link. It'll take you here and follow me somewhere else. This is going out simultaneously on YouTube and Rumble. You can follow me on Rumble. The link is in the show notes. Or search Rumble UK Bitcoin Master 1, the number 1. Follow me there. I've got a backup channel on YouTube, UK Bitcoiner. It is all over there. So I would encourage you all to follow me somewhere else, because this channel's already gone down once for no reason. Flipping YouTube and Google and their algorithms. Don't let it happen to you. Show sponsor number 1, the best of Exmoor, a holiday company here in the UK. 200 holiday cottages on Exmoor National Park, a beautiful part of the world, unless, of course, it's pouring with rain. Well worth checking them out. They've got everything you could want, pet-friendly, no pets, on the coast, inland, lovely walks, sleep 1, sleep 20 if you want, I believe. So because they're Bitcoiners, you can see top right, they are Bitcoiners. Scan the QR code and show them a bit of love. If you scan the QR code, they can see that you had a look around coming through my website. That's why I'm asking you to scan the QR code. Okay, so back to me. And back to you guys. Let's see who we've got in my chat. I can see you all, the regulars, all joining. John G on catch up. Chelsea Baz is with us. Justin Dizzy is in the house. Mr. 60. We got Stephen O'Neill. I keep wanting to say O'Connell. Forgive me, Stephen. It's Stephen O'Neill. That is so small on my second monitor. I'm trying to read them. Elaine, Mrs. UK. Well, she's always in the house. She's downstairs. Who else have we got? Yorkie Bitcoiner is with us. Vinny Rondo is in the house. Barefoot Barry. We've got New Zealand in the house. This is incredible. In fact, oh yeah, you are in New Zealand. Sometimes you're in Thailand, Barry, but you're in New Zealand. Great to have you in the house, Barry. It really is. Right, so I want to get into the show in earnest. Please retweet this, share it where you're watching or listening. So if you're on the podcast, thank you for being here. I'm going to be totally honest with you. When looking for stuff for the show, do you know something? The market out there is in an abysmal state. The apathy is palpable. Everybody's got doom and gloom. You've seen what Stephen O'Neill has put in the chat. Everybody's fearful. Everybody's wondering what the hell is going on. Is this it? Is it all over? Here's my take on that. Do you know what? No one's got a clue. The analysts can look at past performance, but past performance is not indicative of performance going forward. So when you look at Bitcoin's its epochs, if you will, all the gains in Bitcoin are normally made within a 8 to 10 day period. And if you're out of that market in that time frame, then you've lost all those upward gains. There are other channels that put out charts and analysis of how all that works. You're not going to get that from me. I'm just a guy on the internet that just loves talking about Bitcoin. But that said, in 2017, and this is for you, Stephen, and others, in 2017, I got into Bitcoin at $2,000 a coin. I watched it ride all the way up to nearly 20 grand and thought I died and gone to heaven. I was getting everybody in at 20 grand. This thing's going to 100, it's going to 20 million, all of the normal silly crazy stuff, because I didn't know what Bitcoin did. I did not understand Bitcoin. Okay. And then I watched it fall off a cliff down to, I believe, about 3.2 during early 2018. And then I started to learn and understood bear markets, bull markets, sideways, accumulation phases, and everything that only time and diving down the rabbit hole will teach you. So why am I saying all that? Because I'm watching this Bitcoin price. We're currently 101,429. Okay. And whilst none of us likes to see an investment go down, it is only going down on paper. And as long as you hold that investment, I can't say it will always recover, because that's almost stating I know what I'm talking about. Everything we've seen in the past shows that this thing recovers. If you take 2017, we had something like 6 corrections during the bull run, okay, of 29 up to 39% corrections. We're on about a 20-odd% correction at the moment. So this, to me, is, you've got to start zooming out and looking at what's going on in the macro world. The US government is shut down. I think it's their longest shutdown in history. When they're shut down, loads of people ain't getting paid. Money isn't going back into the system. You've got all the geopolitical crap that's going on about who's going to fight who and when and next and everything else. So for me, I'm pretty okay with everything being turbulent. Okay. I'm pretty okay with Bitcoin's price dropping whilst I don't like it. I've seen it all before, and the playbook is just playing out again. So I would say to anybody who's nervous, Stephen, I guess I'm sort of picking on you because you're the one. Picking on you's the wrong word. I don't pick on anyone, but you're the one that says what the heck is going on with Bitcoin. It is par for the course, my friend. If you want the upside, you got to put up with the volatility. And here's what I've learned in 8.5 years holding Bitcoin. And that is this: when everybody says this is going to happen, that happens. And you can't time any of it. You just have to buckle in for the ride, learn about Bitcoin, learn about what makes it so unique. Okay. Then if that feels right to you, stack. Dollar cost average, buy regularly, or as Mr. Six has put in, he's got a buy order in at 75,000 in sterling. Maybe you'll see it, Mr. 60, but you know what? I wouldn't bet on it, because when everybody says this thing's going down and it's going to 80k and 70k, maybe it will, but maybe it won't. And maybe this is just Bitcoin, a $2 trillion asset, which is small when you look at global assets. Maybe this is just being buffered around by governments closing down and old Bitcoin OGs that bought, say, $100 and it's now 100,000, and they're starting to move some of that and sell it and have some lifestyle. And that is what this thing is all about. So I guess what I'm trying to do to kick the show off is say, chill out, everyone. No one likes seeing the price dips, but it's part and parcel of being early on, like I covered on Monday, a 1,000-year Bitcoin journey. That's how early we all are. So all of that said, what I've got is a couple of videos and then a few tweets that contain videos, and that's really the show. So when we talk about where is this thing going, if you're looking at the price and you're freaking out, you're not looking at what's going on around the world. When I got into Bitcoin in 2017, when we got into Bitcoin in 2017, not in a million years did I ever imagine a United States of America, the most powerful nation on earth for now, okay, the US sitting president coming out and beating the drum about Bitcoin. Now, in this clip I'm going to show you, he keeps using the word crypto, but I actually don't think he really knows the difference between all of them. I think his sons know way more than he does. That's not the point. I believe he's talking about Bitcoin, but he's calling it crypto. So in this first clip, Trump says, and maybe some of you have seen it, and if you have, my apologies, but this is all I can bring you around not panicking, just hodling and stacking more whilst Bitcoin is on sale. He says he's going to make the US the number one in Bitcoin. Sure, he's using crypto, okay? But we know he means Bitcoin. The previous administration, they were beating up on Bitcoin. All Joe Biden and his team were trying to do, and the Elizabeth Warrens of the world were trying to kill it. They were trying to kill the crypto industry. Trump's in, and love him or hate him for any of his policies, he's massively pro our industry. And in this clip, he ends up saying that there's only going to be one winner in all of this. And he sure as hell is going to make sure that that winner is the US. So let me play this first clip from Mr. Trump himself.
When you say the government, you're talking about the Biden government. It's a corrupt government. Biden was the most corrupt president, and he was the worst president we've ever had. I only care about one thing. Will we be number one in crypto? Crypto has turned out, and in that sense, I've been right. Crypto's turned out to be a massive industry, if you want to call it that. And I'm very proud to say that we are far and away ahead of China and everybody else. Now, China's getting into it very big right now. If you want to go after people, you're going to kill that industry, and it'll be very bad. Tremendous number of jobs. I campaigned positively on crypto, very openly. I campaigned. Biden campaigned against it. When Biden found out that I was getting like 100% of the crypto vote, which was a lot, he switched totally, and he went in favor of crypto. They went totally in favor. They had many people under indictment. They let them all go. They let them all go. You know that. Many people were under indictment. Biden was a corrupt president. Biden went all in on crypto at the very end because he thought he could get some votes. It didn't work. They voted for me. I want to make crypto great for America. That's the only thing. I don't want to have somebody else have crypto and have China be number one in the world in crypto. Because in crypto, it's a kind of an industry where basically you're going to have number one and you're not going to have a number two. And right now, we're number one by a long shot. I want to keep it that way. The same way we're number one with AI, we're number one with crypto. And I want to keep it that way.
Okay, so the point of that, around what I've just said for the first 5-6 minutes of the show, is you've got to take stock. You've got the most powerful man on earth beating the drum about crypto, he's saying, but, we're calling this thing Bitcoin. So it's not going away. But then it doesn't stop there. You've got to understand that America at the moment is the most powerful nation on earth. But then you've also got to keep in mind that the UK used to be the British Empire. I don't want to get into how it's a fallen empire right now. But on this side of the pond, you've now got one of the US's major allies, the UK. Now we've got a voice for Bitcoin in the UK. Sure, this guy's still using the word crypto, but I want to talk about Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform Party, who are just beating leaps and drums forward in terms of, popularity. And I could very well see him winning the 2028 general election. So he talks in this clip, he was at a conference in London, how the UK needs to embrace innovation, but we're doing the complete opposite. He talks about taking a risk, but by taking risks, the free market will decide if you win or lose. And that's how it should be. No one should be bailed out if they take a risk and they lose, like we've seen with the too big to fail banks in the US, etc., etc. And he goes on to say, to be a leader, a country needs the right people. right? And the UK is driving them away in their thousands. He also talks about how the UK is living through what we call a real brain drain. He says the UK is being left behind in crypto and the banks aren't helping. They are killing it here. That's what we've got going on here. So again, not my words, his words. Let's listen to what Mr. Farage has got to say.
The whole economy must encourage innovation. We must encourage ambition. And yes, dare I say it, risk-taking. Free markets work because people take risks. And if it goes wrong, it's not the job of governments to bail them out. But to be that kind of economy, we have to have the right people in our country. That breed of people that will take astonishing risk. That breed of people who'll give up their lives dedicated to a particular project that they wish to succeed. The exodus is real. An estimated 16,500 very rich people will leave this country this year. But a total of about 80,000 people will leave this year seeking jobs, seeking work, seeking opportunity elsewhere around the world. And yes, many of our brightest, youngest, most ambitious people have simply had enough. We're living through a wealth drain, but we're also living again through a late 1970s style brain drain. And we intend to reverse all of that. Folks, it's happening. We're being left behind. There's a global boom in the trade in digital assets, in the use of stable coins, in the usage and investment in all forms of cryptocurrency. We've literally turned our backs on it, both the Bank of England and the FCA being guilty of this. The reason the city succeeded for hundreds of years is that it innovated, it took risk, it saw what the future direction of markets and consumer and customer and commercial demand would be. And we have done absolutely none of it. And frankly, I believe it's a disaster. We should be leading the world in these 21st century businesses.
Love him or loathe him. He's right on what he's saying. The UK banks, government, they are crippling and killing an industry that could be so good for our country. Now, I'm looking at the chat. I've got no interest in politicians. I hate politicians. I don't trust politicians. They lie to get in, etc. But you've got to keep in mind, if you're in the US, would you prefer to have had the Biden administration beating this industry to death, fining companies, locking up their CEOs, etc., and doing all this stuff they were doing, choke point 2.0? Or would you prefer a president who is pro our industry? Well, I know which one I would choose. And it's the same thing here in the UK. For me, I am a single issue voter. I haven't voted for years and years and years and years. But if there is a politician coming out in favour of Bitcoin, positive towards the industry, whether I hate them for other things, they're going to get my vote. And at the moment, it's Farage. At the moment, okay? So the point is, we've got two massive players here, a potential Prime Minister in the UK and the sitting US President are all over this industry and very pro this industry. And I'll take that all day long because you know why? At the moment, my keys are in solitary confinement, if you want to call it that. Our security is locked down. We are hodling. Bitcoin can do what it's going to do. We're all in. So I'm literally just sitting, enjoying life. My wife's retired now, thank you to Bitcoin. We're enjoying our retirement and doing these shows twice a week and then chilling out and having a blast. And that's all I care about, family time, because you can't take your Bitcoin and your money with you. The most precious thing is family time. But having a good Bitcoin stash and having it secured is pertinent to having good family time instead of living in poverty. Quick shout out here to the Orange Pill app, now known as Club Orange. It's just rebranded and I'll get this changed at some point. You should check it out if you're not on it, people. It is an app for Bitcoiners. Search Orange Pill or use my link in the show notes or search Club Orange. I don't know how, whether the searches are up there yet. Check it out. Try it for a month. It's a tiny subscription, couple of quid, £3 a month or whatever it is, so that we keep the bots and the spammers out and the scammers out. If you use my link in the show notes and try it out, OPA will give you 5,000 sats once you've done so. Well worth checking out, really is. Second show sponsors by the Book Accountancy. This is Robin Thatcher. He was a guest on my show several months back. He might be a crypto accountant, but he is a Bitcoiner through and through. He lobbies UK government, HMRC. He's doing the conference rounds at the moment. So, very, very authoritative on Bitcoin, crypto, and all the tax implications. If you want to search, it also goes by the name of Crypto Tax Help. Check him out. You can get a free 30-minute consultation and ask Robin your questions around the upcoming and looming HMRC changes in the UK and how they're going to affect us. So, onwards and upwards. A few tweets. I found here's one from Cointelegraph. I reckon Spain will rue this decision. It says Spain's ITER plans. ITER is some kind of... Sorry, I Googled it earlier and I've completely forgotten what it is, but it's to do with burning something or other. I can't remember. Anyway, Spain's ITER plans to offload 97 Bitcoin purchased in 2012 for 10K and reinvest a 10 million haul into quantum projects. Okay, we'll see how that one fares. Who knows? Here's another one. Former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan, quote, in the absence of gold, a gold standard, there is no way to protect savings from confiscation through inflation. He obviously doesn't know about Bitcoin. As Bitcoin Archive said, Bitcoin fixes this. Now I've got a couple of tweets that have got short video clips linked to them. Here's one of them. One of the biggest real estate investors in the world is saying he would rather have Bitcoin. But you can keep playing around with your 10 property portfolio with 150k in equity and 2.7 million in debt if you so want to. Here's Grant Cardone.
$1 billion of Bitcoin or $1 billion of real estate. I'll take the Bitcoin right now. Why? I don't have to do a title. I don't have to do an appraisal. I don't have to do a survey. I don't have to go through the banks. I don't have to get a loan. It doesn't come with termites, tenants, evictions, the government, taxes, bullshit. Yeah, I'd take the Bitcoin in a heartbeat.
And that's the billionaire mindset. That's the billionaire.
Okay, so look, it's not just me, this crazy Brit, who's beating the drum about Bitcoin. You've got billionaire real estate or property investors like Grant Cardone and many other billionaires. Ricardo Salinas from Mexico. They're all behind this thing. So it's not just me. What you got to do is take the volatility, settle in. You're in the most pristine asset humanity has ever seen. Here's another one. Some of you may know this lovely lady, Caitlin Long. Let me tell you who Caitlin is if you don't know who she is. Caitlin Long used to be, I believe, the pension fund manager for Morgan Stanley in the US. And she talks here about what happened when she discovered Bitcoin. So, Caitlin Long, right now, Bitcoin price is incredibly volatile, but as a system, it's sound because there is no debt. Bitcoin is no one's IOU. Every dollar is actually an IOU. So, let's hear it from the words of Caitlin Long.
Seeing a lot of people waking up from the traditional finance industry, just like I did in 2008, saying something's wrong. This is fundamentally unstable. Something's wrong. I'm going to go get curious and dig in. And when they dig in, they're going to get orange pilled into Bitcoin in most cases, because they're going to realize that there is a fundamentally more stable system out there. Right now, Bitcoin's price is incredibly volatile, but as a system, it's sound because there's no debt in the system. Because Bitcoin is no one's IOU. It is, if you own the on-chain Bitcoin, it is not issued by anyone. It is something that organically arose between people, and there's no issuer. Unlike fiat currency, where there's an issuer every dollar is actually an IOU. Go look at the piece of paper in your wallet if you still carry physical cash. It says it's an IOU. It's paid to the order of from the Federal Reserve Bank. It is an IOU. And what's backing that IOU? It's turtles all the way down, so to speak. It's just the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Well, what does that mean? Is that anything more than a confidence game? Is that more than the confidence game that Bitcoin or gold or real estate are? Everything is subjective. The whole concept of money is ephemeral. And once you get your hands around that, then you realize, wow, I would rather store the fruits of my labor in an honest ledger that no one can manipulate. And you pretty quickly come to hard assets like Bitcoin as being something that you want to have in your portfolio. And then you start to realize, wow, I can move Bitcoin better, faster, cheaper as a payment system, especially using a layer 2 like Lightning Network. Then you're in a whole different paradigm than the traditional banking system. And again, I cannot underscore just how important it is that the bank regulators' moves against these tech-forward banks and the White House coming out and criticizing financial innovation, they are trying to regress the technology of the U.S. financial system because they're afraid of it. And it's just like the taxi and limousine commissions with Uber. They're going to get overrun. And I really wish that cooler heads would prevail.
Okay, so don't take it from me. Caitlin Long dealt in multi-billion accounts for Morgan Stanley. You know, these people are coming out. She knows where Bitcoin is going. These OGs all know where Bitcoin is going. I'm going to put myself in the camp of an OG. Nearly 9 years in Bitcoin. I know where this thing is going. I don't have a magic wand, but in my heart, I just know where this thing is going. I just saw Bram VDB join. Yep, I did. Bram, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Just a couple more tweets, I believe. Here's one from Adam Back, or Bitcoin Magazine, actually. Cypherpunk legend Adam Back says, dips exist to transfer Bitcoin from weak hands to strong hands. There you go, Stephen O'Neill. Hopefully you get something from that one. Bitcoin dips exist to transfer Bitcoin from weak hands to strong hands. So, strong Bitcoin hand. I wore this t-shirt for a reason. The price is down. Everyone's freaking out. The fear and greed index, the last time I looked, was at something like 27. Chill out, everybody. Stress is a hidden killer. Don't get stressed over this thing. You just got to be in it for long enough. And if you come in with the mindset of I'm holding this thing for at least 5 years, you are not going to go far wrong, I can tell you. Okay, we move on. I found this quote again from Steve Jobs. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow know what you truly want to become. If you've done the work, you know Bitcoin is the future, people. Love the quote. Quick shout out this Saturday. We've got our 21 million club where we talk Bitcoin. Love these, really do. I've sent all the 21 million club members an email a couple of hours ago. Check that one out. But I'm looking forward to that. So for those of you that have forgotten, 8 p.m. UK time. I don't know where your clocks are in the US at the moment, whether you've had a clock change or not. But if you have, it means that is going to be, 3 p.m. Eastern, and I believe about 12 p.m. midday on the West Coast. Of course, if you haven't had a clock change yet, that's going to be slightly different. But I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait. For anyone that wants to support the show, all these SATS addresses work. If you want to donate, you can. A little bit of support. Again, you don't have to. I don't run the show for any type of financial gain. I do it for the love of helping a noob not get wrecked by getting themselves into crap coins. But that's it. Again, we're done. That is Thursday, the 6th of November, 2025, under our belt. We move on. You can go and follow the other podcasters. Now you've been lovely enough to stay with mine for for 30 minutes. I appreciate it. Again, please retweet this. Please go in and leave a comment once the live stream is aired. I'd really appreciate that one. 24 hours from now, you'll get the boxes come up here. You can click on one of those. For those of you that are not joining us on the 21 Million Club on Saturday, I'll be back on Monday, 6 p.m. UK time. Come and join me for another bullish Bitcoin show. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, signing off with Chelsea Baz's awesome song, Broken Money.